We are live now. So, hello to everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and evening. A warm welcome to day 5 of the third International Conference and Pop Festival for Youth-led Climate Action 2021. This is the third session. My name is Drishya Pathak. I'm a pop youth mentor at the Pop Movement. The session is Innovation and Technology Leading Entrepreneurship to Take Climate Action. This session will showcase the vision, experience, and learnings of new age entrepreneurship who have withheld the use of innovation and technology in different ways of climate action. We have our extreme panel of guests joining us today. Um, we have Cody Pace, who is a 12-year-old young man. Emma Kraft, founder and CEO of Coral. Heidi Cooper, founder and executive director of Dream Tank. And Summer, who is again a 15 years old Fairview High School student. Um, First of all, I would like to start the session by giving some basic instructions to all those who are part of this meeting. Um, Please keep your microphone switched off to avoid any background noise. Please feel free to use the Zoom chat to send in your questions. Our facilitators will help us coordinate to respond to your queries while the panel is going on. We would also like to share our social media handles to keep you informed about our future activities. You can find the same in the chat. Also, if you are posting anything related to the festival on social media, kindly use the hashtag Pop Movement, Pop Festival 2021. With that, uh, I would like to introduce our esteemed panel of speakers. Cody Pace, who is a 12 years old, loves gaming, animal sports, and he mostly loves creating and leading games, both in real life and in the virtual world. He is helping create a Dream Tank virtual global game to address the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals that includes social impact, achievement-based rewards, including micro and digital currency components. During the summer of 2020, he worked with two mentors to build the first and only youth-created virtual reality Burning Man camp on the Meta Burn Bridge experience. One of the recognized virtual world of the burning Burning Man meta waivers. He appeared on the Replenish Earth live stream about his experience. Our second guest is Emma Kraft, founder and CEO of Coral. Emma is a 16-year-old and has always been drawn to ocean. She was born in Mane and currently lives in Boulder, Colorado. She is senior at Fairview High School, and her favorite subjects are physical and life sciences and the performing arts. Emma has always been an active member of her school and the larger Boulder community. She began harboring her entrepreneurship journey in the middle school with Dream Tank and is now creating her own company, Coral, which is a sunscreen brand that is not only reef safe but also ocean beneficial. Coral promotes the idea that we can go beyond sustainable to create a better future. She's launching Coral because she wants to empower her generation to believe that anything is possible. She hopes to inspire others with her story and ideas. Our third speaker is Heidi Cooper, founder and executive director of Dream Tank. She is the founder and executive director of Dream Tank and a public speaker, mentor, and impact investing advisor at Heidi Cooper LLC, a council member at the Digital Economist, a mother of two, and an advisor board member to social enterprises. Dream Tank is a social entrepreneurship accelerator and think tank for youth to unleash their creative genius and collaborate with leaders across sectors to create a more just, equitable, and sustainable world through the power of youth innovation, entrepreneurship, and technology. The Digital Economist is a global impact organization with a mission to drive technological convergence for human-centered digital economy by bringing investable opportunities in line with the Sustainable Development Goals to the fore. Our fourth speaker is Summer, who is a 15-year-old Fairview High School student. and a sophomore at Fairview High School. She was born in Manhattan, New York, and now lives in Boulder, Colorado. She loves art, film, music, and entrepreneurship. She's a pre-advisor to the Dream Tanks program and created a card game to learn and unleash big ideas related to United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, and created a film production company with her partner Anya Smith called Story Architects, including Kid Critic YouTube shows under the mentorship of Dream Tank. Summer has been interested in Sustainable Development Goal 13, climate action, for a long time. She has made awareness films about it with her partner Anya. One of her films helped change a law in Colorado to protect wildlife. Summer hopes to inspire kids everywhere to take a stand and fight for what they believe in. With that, I would like to welcome all our panelists. And uh, the the format of this session will be a conversation. So I have a few questions which I'll be putting forward for our panelists, and would like to know more about them and Dream Tank and the work they are doing individually as well as together. So with that, I would like to first ask uh, Ms. Heidi if she can tell us about her initiative and what does it focus on and what is the main issue it's trying to solve.
Thank you. Thank you so much for such a beautiful introduction. Excuse me. So I'll start with a story. Right now at this point, I've been in the impact investing and social entrepreneurship world for about 17 years. In 2016, I was mostly focusing on impact investing, and I was a coach and concierge to women and millennials who wanted to align their money with their mission and the impact they wanted to have in the world. And I have two kids at the time. They were 5 years young. So Summer was about 10, Cody was about 7. And I would go to a lot of these conferences, family office conferences, summits, all talking to people about how they could leverage their investments across all asset classes for impact. And the Sustainable Development Goals had been released just the previous year. And so 193 out of 196 countries had all agreed on our goals for the first time. And it was really exciting. And I was at a conference in 2016, and I was there representing my impact investing business. And the panelists asked, what would you do if you had 1 year left to live? Now, they had not prepared me for that question. And so it was one of those moments where almost your whole life flashes in front of you to think about how to really answer that question thoughtfully. And it was also a little scary because I was there to represent impact investing and try to get new clients for my business or in the finance area. So in that moment, that seemed a lot longer than it actually was when I was considering how to answer. I had a big epiphany. I thought, well, if I was only going to have 1 year left, I would have to do something so big and so crazy that I didn't care what anyone thought that would take humanity forward. I also would want to spend time with my children. I got divorced about 11 years ago, so I was solo with my kids in a shared parenting situation. So it was me and my kids in my house, and I would travel a lot, and so I really missed my kids. And also, I thought I would want to do something so inspiring that would really encourage people to collaborate. What would that thing be? All of that in this moment. And all of a sudden it hit me. I thought, oh my goodness, these are advancements for humanity. Each of the Sustainable Development Goals is a major advancement for humanity, like mapping the human genome or going to the moon. And so what do? We need a superhero team. We need the best imaginations in the world. We need all different types of people helping to solve this problem. And it hit me that the answer was kids. because the kids have the best imaginations. This particular generation was born with technology in their hands like never before. We could actually have the most imaginative minds with technology. And if we could provide a place for them, an accelerator and an ecosystem to help unleash their brilliant ideas and support them and help them gain confidence that their ideas and their voices mattered for the world, and the way they solve problems was from a different perspective was needed. And in fact, their ideas were being crushed in the school systems. So we started with an experiment the first summer of 2016. Emma was there. The very first Dream Tank ever, which was a radical experiment and completely crazy and awesome. And Cody was there, and Summer, who's not on this call, was also there. And 5 years later, we've really built out this beautiful global ecosystem of support for young people. And what we do is we take them through a journey. So it's like a hero's journey, a human journey, you know, unlocking and unleashing that spark inside and that that passion that you have that might not have been expressed, or your gifts, and then draw that out and then help match that to a sustainable development goal, some way that they want to address their community or the world, and then give mentorship and entrepreneurial skills, both hard and soft skills, to gain confidence, overcome obstacles, have mentorship, and go on this journey of discovering yourself and changing the world. Even if it's a small thing in your community that you're doing, it matters. Every single thing that we do towards impact matters. It has a ripple effect for people in your life that get inspired, even if it's not 1 billion people you're impacting. So that is Dream Tank, and I'll share more about that later. But I'm really delighted to have Emma here and Cody, and be here with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Heidi. I would also like to ask something about the coral. If Summer is not there, if Emma can tell us more about it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay. You're asking about, sorry, I didn't hear that last part.
About coral?
Coral. Yes. So Coral is my company. I have always loved the ocean, the environment. Growing up in Boulder, I've always been really inspired by the fusion of the environment and all the science happening here. It's one of the incredible parts of this town, as well as all of the innovation always happening. So since I was little, I'm watching my mom. She's an entrepreneur. Right now, she is very much in the health and wellness space. But she's always really inspired me to solve problems through entrepreneurship. So in my world, I'm always looking at issues and seeing what can we do, asking questions and trying to find answers to those questions, even if they may be really, really unimaginable concepts. And so one day I was reading science articles about the coral reefs, and I was really taken back by the effects of oxybenzone and all of the sunscreen chemicals that were affecting the reefs. And so thinking of entrepreneurship and companies, I decided to, just do a quick Google search, seeing what was out there, what were people doing to solve this problem. And so we had reef safe sunscreen, which are really incredible and really important. But I wondered if we could actually take that a step further. And what if we could actually do something in the world with our sunscreen to help the ocean? And so I actually came up with Coral. And now I am headed to Hawaii tomorrow. I'm working with researchers at MIT and the research dean at the University of Manoa in Hawaii to do all of the testing to basically see. So what happens in the ocean is when carbon dioxide, which is a big problem with anthropogenic CO2, mixes with ocean water, what happens is it's taking away a carbonate ion from the water. And so when that happens, when we're losing that carbonate ion, the coral reefs need that to reproduce and calcify. So basically, with this sunscreen, we're adding in a carbonate ion into the water with certain minerals and allowing the buffer capacity in the ocean to increase, which is helping the reefs reproduce at a faster rate and calcify. So that is my brand. It's very exciting. I'm very excited to be working on it. And I think beyond coral, I will be, I'm headed out to Berkeley and I'm planning to study environmental economics and policy and keep addressing all of our environmental issues.
And if I might add, Emma graduated a year early in order to work on her business as well.
Thank you, Heidi. I think the way you mentioned about your initiative and the passion was very much visible, and I think the way you have put together everything and with all the situation, all the motivation is just amazing. And to Emma, I would say that I think that's like one thing that people don't really think about what you actually reflected on and worked on. And it's amazing to, and we would love to know more about it during the course of this conversation. But uh, with that, I would like to ask uh, Cody, why is innovation key to solving climate crisis, and why he think that it motivated him to do something like this?
What was the first question you asked again?
My question is, why is innovation key to solving the climate crisis?
I didn't hear you. I think something's wrong with my
Heidi, would you like to take
Yes,
this question?
yes, Cody. So why is innovation, so coming up with new ideas and hacking old ideas that don't work, right? Innovation. Why is innovation the key to solving the climate crisis?
Because if we don't start having new ideas, then we will just like destroy the planet, and also like
Yeah, so, and you can talk a little bit about, innovation in your world is making games, right? Or, you helped start a climate, a plastic ban campaign in Colorado, right? You can talk a little bit about that. You can talk about the game that you've started building that has sustainability and climate solutions built in by kids.
Well, yeah, I'm like making this game that's based on the SDGs, and it's like about a world where like there's 4 islands, and each island is suffering from different like low some sustainable goals, like development goals. Like there will be an island with like no hunger, like the no hunger, and not no clean water and stuff like that, and that's what they'll be suffering from. They'll have like no low water, not clean water, and no, and not a lot of food. And it's like that for each island, but they're suffering from different things, and it's like your goal to restore all the islands.
Wow. Sounds so interesting and exciting. What if we get to be in a virtual zone and play this game? Like,
well, I have a little video clip of Cody giving a tour of his prototype game. if you want to show, we could show it. It might be even more fun than him trying to describe it, is to see it. So if you can give
can you
me
put
shares.
if you want to share your screen, you can, or if you want me to share, you can put the link in the chat and I'll play the video.
Okay,
Whatever suits you.
I can share it.
Okay, great.
So I'll just show a few minutes of this. This is a tour of the Burning Man portal that is a prototype for this game.
Hello, people of the Saturday event. I am here to show you the tour of the world that I built. So as you can see, there is videos and a bunch of different posters. These posters represent each of the 4 rooms of the SDG groups. There is survival, sustaining, living, and thriving. So the first room that I'm going to show you is survival. It has the no.
I'm gonna put you into the sustaining room.
Okay. This looks amazing.
Action, sustain, clean, affordable and clean energy, and life on land. So this is probably the it's big or small, but biggest in terms like space of all the rooms. So it's going to take a little while to load here.
Sorry.
Mozilla. Tree, THCC. Sorry, that took me a while. And over here, you will if you manage to make your way around this slab, you will see that it has the sustaining poster, and you can read this as you please. And yeah. Then over here, if you come over here, you can press G to fly. You will see this little fish that you can, that's pretty cool. Then you'll see a goldfish and you'll see Nemo. If you'd like, you can ask Nemo about his adventures, but he probably won't tell you because he's traumatized forever, as you can see by his traumatized looking face. You can see that, right? He looks super traumatized. Over here is something that looks like a Walmart sign for no reason whatsoever. And then over here, there is a windmill that is creating energy.
So I just a little taste of that. And there's 4 different rooms. So Cody, you can share more. I don't want to speak for you.
Well, so that was the sustaining room, and pretty much the rooms just have like a little section based on each of the SDGs in that specific room. So like the windmill was like the energy sustainable development goal. There was life on land, which was like the giraffe and stuff, and life underwater, which was the fish, and I forget the third one. What? Or life, the fourth one. No. And then the other rooms, I have the other rooms, but I don't know if yeah. What?
I think we can, yeah, we only have 45 minutes. Do you want me to show more, or we have other stuff I'm sure to talk about, but I like the survival room. You know, he put, sound healings. You can talk about how you made spaces for our partners, right? And so how we're going to work with partners and sponsors. He built some areas into these different rooms based on what the partners are doing, right? So talk about the Replenish Earth area you made.
So I made this in the survival room. We could check it out after this, but it's one of our partners was Replenish Earth. And so I made like this little cherry blossom meditation area where you can listen to like these sounds that will guide you through like a meditation, and that were made by Replenish Earth. So it's pretty cool over there.
Yep. And then we had a partner also that, remember the Peace Dome you made in the other room? I think it was the living room.
In the living room, not like house living room, but like living. There's like this glass dome with like a video of our other people, friends, and it's like a room that is only accessible through flying. So you have to fly up there, and it's not hard to miss. You just look up and you'll see it. And it like has a video explaining some stuff.
Yeah, and if everyone's interested, we can have maybe Cody have a session where people can all log into the game and we can actually interact. You can access it through mobile, through web, or virtual reality. So we can all go in and have an avatar and actually meet in some of these spaces. You can screen share, you can leave objects. There's a surprise in there, right, Cody? Tell them about that.
Oh yeah, I made an Easter egg. There's an Easter egg in one of the 4 rooms that you can find by going places that things or people wouldn't expect to go, or guide you to go. So you have to like teleport through objects and fly around looking for an Easter egg on different islands. And it's that it'll come up with like this link thing, and you click on the links, and yeah.
And there's a surprise. Great job, Cody.
Yeah, I would like to ask you, do you have these sessions like regularly, and if you have any links or where, the participants of the call can, directly register and have a session? Or
yes, I'll put a link to sign up for a Dream Tank portal tour. And we have our virtual headquarters, which is some of you saw. And I can put the link for that. And then we could also potentially arrange a special one for this community.
Okay, great. Thanks. We'll also add the link once you add it in the chat to the YouTube live streaming, so that people who are watching live can also get access to it. But I think the game is exciting. I had the opportunity to actually be part of one of the sessions where I attended and went through the entire zone. So, but this portion of the game I was not familiar of that how partners are shown and what creativity you do with the partners. So thank you, Cody, and thank you, Heidi, for sharing that small clip and sharing your innovation with us. Now I would like to ask Nahid if she has a question for our panelists.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, why is it important for the youth to be inspired to innovate?
Emma, would you like to take that question?
Yes, I would love to take that question. So I think that innovation is a very big part of our future. I think that without it, we're going to have a really hard time solving climate and global issues. And so I think that including the youth as our next generation is really important, even if it's just beginning to inspire them to ask questions, or think of things in new ways outside of the box. And to me, innovation has multiple different umbrellas of meaning. And I think a really big part of that is community and collaboration. And I think that by including a new generation and teaching new ways through new thinking, but also new ways to engage in community and support each other globally is really important. And I think that it's really powerful to have new minds and new just ways of treating each other or collaborating and communicating. And I think that that can really be a major contributor to finding solutions.
Yeah, totally. Thank you for that amazing response. I'll hand it over to Drishya again. Thank you. Drishya,
You're
yeah.
You're on mute.
Sorry. Yeah, I would really like to continue what Nahid said. Like, I would like to continue that question and ask you that how can we encourage more youth leaders to innovate and become entrepreneurs? Because we have like youth in our network and they all are leaders and they really want to work on new innovative projects and become entrepreneurs. So, how can we encourage more youth leaders to innovate?
I think that's a really great question. And it's really important to have everyone really involved. And I think it can be challenging or intimidating for a lot of youth to step up because we are used to not necessarily having the main stage. And so I think it's really important to build a community. I know Dream Tank has been really helpful for me because it's given me a voice. But I actually think also one thing that I couldn't emphasize enough is encouraging youth to ask questions, to always be asking questions, never necessarily to follow the status quo, even if it's, yes, just asking them to look at the world around them, because I find that younger people are really good at noticing things that are different or simple things that many adults take for granted. For instance, you will see a small child looking at a bug on a sidewalk, and I never stop to look at small things. And I think that that's really important to encourage that curiosity and to encourage always asking questions and asking, what can we do to solve these questions? And I think that's a really powerful toolkit to encouraging youth to be inspired and to be a part of innovating our new future.
Thank you, Emma. Heidi, would you like to take this question as you have been inspiring young leaders by, inviting them to be part of this, to be part of the Dream Tank. So, would you like to take this question?
Yes, and what Emma said, and that's really, I mean, that's really what led when you ask questions and you question everything, is really, that is how we can create innovation. However, if you do that and there's not a total support system, it's hard to actually move forward, when if people are really not necessarily listening to young people, they don't have that voice that's taken seriously. That's what we really do here is we negotiate, we vet people, we make sure every adult who works with a young person at Dream Tank has a mindset of no dream crushing. All ideas are welcome. We have really to create the stage where when we say to young people, failure is okay in innovation, the truth is that nowhere in the world is failure okay, the way the system is set up for kids. So we say these things, but then there isn't a real world support system to actually work with that, right? Because in Dream Tank, failure is a necessary part of innovation, and not just Dream Tank, everywhere. But if you don't give that platform or that playground where you can test and fail, and that is a strength in our ecosystem, it's easy to get pulled down or pushed back as a young person by people around you who don't necessarily understand these new ways of thinking. So we vet mentors and partners and programs that all have the same ethos where it's vulnerability is a strength, right? And not share something vulnerable and then someone uses it against you. That's what happens in business now. There's a lot of ways that we say that we can go ahead and change things, but it's not supported in the system. So the ecosystem of Dream Tank is designed to have a full-on support system at the earliest stages of ideation, starting at even 8 years old. So we believe that you shouldn't have to have an MBA, and you shouldn't have to have all of these skills that right now you need to raise funds in the world through venture capital and all these different ways. It's like you have to be an expert in, finance. You have to be an expert in legal. You have to be an expert in everything just to get money. But the truth is, the best ideas come from places where they don't have all those other skill sets, right? So we can't let the best ideas die just because they don't fit the old funding model and the old support model. So what we want to do is say, there are ideas that need to be in the world from the most remote places. So we want to take those ideas and support them, because also we know 9 out of 10 businesses actually fail. So why would we uphold an old system of entrepreneurship that's not even really, and women barely get any funding? And women-owned businesses are more successful. So we need to flip it on its head. So through Dream Tank and this ecosystem, you can start with an idea, get the support you need to build it out, and join a team, create a team, collaborate with others, and know that everyone you're collaborating with in our ecosystem has background checked, has been vetted, and is clear to activate and launch the dreams of young people. And we'll also be facilitating access to capital.
Thank you, Katie. I wanted to ask you, what inspires you to take action?
My kids, and my kids started off, and then when I opened my eyes and started working with other kids, and the more I talk to them everywhere I go, I have the most fun when I ask a little kid, even 3-4 years old, what do you think? What do you dream of? What do you want to create? And what comes out of their mouth is the best, most inspiring thing. And really play and laughter, right? The innocence of young people. And the saddest thing in the world I see is the loss of innocence. When we tell them when they're young that to go after their dreams, it's on all the t-shirts, it's everything, right? Play, dream, laugh. And then they go to middle school and they take the playground away. They take away all the play. And so I was literally heartbroken when my daughter Summer went from 5th grade to 6th grade. And I noticed how all of a sudden playing was not part of the program anymore. And she had to start thinking about her future and all this stuff. But it's just totally sad to me. It broke my heart. And then I looked at all these other kids around the world, and I've talked to so many. I said, I can't let this happen. I just can't. I cannot see these brilliant, innocent minds being crushed in the system. So that's what gets me up every single morning.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to ask the same question to Cody, please. Do you want me to repeat that question, Cody?
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah. Well, the question is, what inspires you to take action?
Probably my mom, because she's really supportive and she just wants me to like, what's the word? I'm forgetting the word. I forget the word, but she wants me to do blank. And also helping people around the world, because I think it's important to me that everybody is treated equally and that everybody has like resources that they can use and safely.
Cody, maybe you want to talk about what happened, a little bit about the video and with Hayden and what you did during COVID, and just talk a little, you don't have to say the trouble you got in, but just share a little bit like you did for that video for the kindness challenge.
Well, so I sent this video to this family, and it was like about yeah, I forget.
Talk about your love for gaming and how you got in a little trouble and what we did about that.
Yeah, well, I got in a little bit of trouble, and I like to game, and this trouble would have my mom would have taken away my game, but instead she said, "No, I'm not going to take away your game, but you have to work and help people around the world." Yeah.
And use your love of gaming and your talent of gaming for positive, right? To take that mistake and turn it into, it's like, people recruit hackers for good, right? So that's what we did during COVID. And that actually is what resulted in that world that you saw. He worked with mentors, and he actually built that world in 2 weeks. So it's pretty impressive. And he showed what's possible when kids are let loose with their brilliance with a mentor. And now we're developing a whole program around that. So kids can come and help develop this game with Cody over the course of time. So we turned lemons into lemonade, because I really believe that our gifts can, even if you're going down not necessarily the right path, can be a little redirected to positive action.
I would like to thank you, Heidi, because you didn't stop him from gaming, and you are building up an innovator, a gamer for all of us. So thank you for that. And Cody, I'm so impressed with your work that, in just 2 weeks, the way you planned, the way you worked, and, developed it with other kids. I think you are an inspiration for a lot of them. I would like to ask now Komal if she has a question for our panelists.
Yeah, thank you, Drishya. First, I would like to tell you, Heidi, how inspiring you are and how amazing mother you are for Cody, that you seriously inspire him to make such great thing, in such a very young age. And he's doing really amazing work with all his passion and his love for gaming. So really congratulations to you for that. So my question to you is, how can we collaborate to empower the youth to innovate? First. Second, what are the main barriers that limit the youth in this aspect?
So, well, one thing we would love to talk to your organization and anyone here is we've created this virtual headquarters. It's so that we all can work together in a common space. So we have so we can have young people can join as individual members, or Protect Our Planet can have a space there. And then we also will have a marketplace and a store. So for example, when Emma launches her sunscreen, we're going to sell her sunscreen in our store. And we invite all young people to also have a sustainable mindset and give back. So Dream Tank can get funded, because Dream Tank is a not-for-profit right now. So the virtual headquarters, the programs, we have fees for those, but we're also raising money so we can make scholarships so it can be free. So we have memberships for individuals, memberships, adults, mentors, and also memberships for youth. And then we have programs that are going to be delivered through that. So that we're going to have a 3-month accelerator program, which young people they will work in small groups of 10 or 11 young people, but they work on their own individual project and in a group, and they go on a journey together, and they all work on this virtual headquarters. So all of that stuff is being developed right now. And we are looking for really some deeply aligned, fundable partners, and those to make this accessible to everyone. And then the second part of your question, what was the second part of your question?
So what were the main barriers that limit the youth in this aspect?
Honestly, the main barriers is the system that they're now going to be forced to go back into after COVID, which is, something we didn't mention was kind of there's a deeper reason why I did not take away Cody's gaming during COVID. It was his only social outlet. And around that time, I heard a story about how a boy who was Cody's age took his own life 4 days before his 13th birthday and during COVID. And he was a gamer, and his fear of having his gaming taken away because of what he did led to, and lack of emotional intelligence, lack of communication, lack of parents knowing exactly what's going on for their kids. It was scary at the beginning of COVID. Nobody knew really how to handle this. We didn't know how much the kids would get impacted. But I heard that story around that time when Cody got into trouble. So that was another main reason why I did not take it away, because it was his lifeline of social connection, as well as a way to direct. And the crazy thing is that several months later, totally through divine alignment, the family and their partners of the boy came to us and said, they didn't even know any of this. This was totally a synchronicity. Said, we want to fund Dream Tank for what you're doing to help kids with their emotional intelligence. So now we have the Robert Jones Black Foundation and Generation Next, who is very much focusing on emotional intelligence, kindness, mental health, and we've adopted even more of a lens of mental emotional health at Dream Tank. So that's probably one of the biggest barriers, is that adults and the society don't get how much pressure and how upsetting everything is about how we've been handling the world to these young people. The schools don't barely acknowledge how the world has changed. They just keep going along with stuff that does not apply anymore. So the biggest threat we have is not acknowledging how the world has changed and trying to make the kids go back into a school system that doesn't support the future we want to build. That's why we're doing what we're doing. We're creating a new system alongside the old system, so that hopefully when it's obvious enough to everyone how broken it is, it will just be an easy transition. And so we're working with the most deeply aligned people right now at the nucleus to build out our kind of global network and ecosystem.
We truly appreciate what you're doing for the kids and everyone else in this world. We truly appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Oh, I also wanted to offer, if anyone, it would be lovely. We have a kindness challenge right now. That was based on, you can read all about this on our website, at this web page. And it's going on a little bit longer. And it's based on the story of this boy, Hayden, and how we all came together to do something about it. And we're challenging young people to make a message of kindness to each other and submit it to us. And then you will get entered to win. Some of the prizes are to join the Council of Young People who are designing Cody's video game. You can join another kind of council on Dream Tank, and you can get scholarships for some of our programs. So we really would love to have more submissions for the Kindness Challenge. It doesn't cost anything for Gen Z. And if you are not Gen Z, you can nominate a young person for just $13 because Hayden was almost 13th, and we want to invite everyone to kind of live Hayden's 13th year for him through this campaign. And so with the funds we raise, we're going to give scholarships to 12 and 13-year-olds to live Hayden's 13th year by addressing challenges that he faced.
Thank you, Heidi. Cody, I would like to quote that we have a young boy here named Ayushman Mishra, part of the Pop family, who also is very much interested in technology, and he has left a message also for you in the chat. So just wanted to mention that before I ask the last question to our panelists. So my question is to Emma first. How can these innovations be considered from a social and environmental point of view? And how can we reach the largest audience possible? Because reaching out is very, very important when we are, doing these kind of innovations or techniques which are totally meant to change the way we are already functioning. Emma.
Thank you. I think that in order to really consider social and environmental impact together, especially, it's really important to start with young people, even if it's just getting them outside and showing them. I think leading by example is really a good way to begin connecting the two, begin building communities, even if they don't exist where you are. Even if it's as simple as a picnic or a lunch where you are discussing issues or something and including them in the conversation. I think that's a really good way to just begin. And then in order to get these ideas out into the world on a much bigger scale, because that is what's needed, I think that we can really use what we do have in technology. And I think actually social media is a really powerful tool for us, especially as a young person. I live in the world of Instagram and Snapchat and YouTube. And so I've seen people go from 0 to 1,000 in 3 weeks because they've gotten a lot of traction on their YouTube video. And so I think actually building that community even more, even if as we've seen with COVID, through this virtual setting is a really powerful tool. And I think using that to our best abilities is really important. Even doing things like this and getting the word out there and building just big audiences is a really good way to start.
Thank you, Emma. Heidi, would you like to also answer this question?
I'm sorry, you cut out there. You cut out there for a minute.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, how can you think we can reach out to the largest audience possible with such innovations?
I think like what Emma said, and actually finding, if anybody, I think people with big followings, so young people with big followings on TikTok or YouTube, right? So those that are already successful, even if it doesn't have to do with social impact, reaching out to them and asking if they would, kind of promote and highlight how other young people are taking action around the world. So someone with a built-in following, we're still looking for those people to come up fully into our midst. We have lots of kind of business partners with big distribution for kind of when we're ready for prime time. But I really like working with just the young people who've already started innovating and doing things. Like, I'm so impressed with some of these kids who've built 100 million followers on TikTok by dancing. It's expressing themselves, and I love seeing that. And I think that if we could have some influencers like that embrace our message, we could really take this far, because numbers are what get people to notice, especially companies. I think young people have a lot more power than they realize. And if we come together and then we start to say what we want to change. And we're not just pointing at people, we're actually innovating and solving problems and leading by example. That's the best way to create change, because shaming and blaming never ever helps. It does not help. As much as we don't like what other people are doing sometimes, the best way to create change is walk your talk yourself, work on yourself, and find the right people to talk about it more, and invite people to join with you, as opposed to saying you are the problem. Say we are the solution.
Thank you, Heidi. I think you, Cody, and Emma brought a lot of inspiration, motivation, and way to innovate for all the young people who are watching us. Also, you shared some amazing ideas that can actually, if somebody is already working on something and feels that is not confident about it, how can that person overcome that barrier and come out of it and actually influence and now outreach more and more people. I would like to ask Dr. Ash if he would like to say some final words before we close out the session.
Sure, absolutely. I would be delighted to say a few words. And there's really only a few words I can say because there's so much that's been said, and I think it's absolutely amazing. I just want to, as a concluding remark, congratulate Heidi, Emma, Cody, the entire Dream Tank family, as well as Coral. I mean, I think that this is just phenomenal. Let me also just say that it's beautiful that you were really leaders by example, and each one of you, and this is really what counts, because when you're able to see something happen, as no matter the youth of the world or anybody else, it's truly inspirational. I want to acknowledge Heidi's amazing, a couple of amazing things, which is one, the virtual sort of space that's been created for the universe, literally to collaborate and come together. Heidi, we're so proud to have been able to visit, and also been able to explore this possibility of working together with you on it. We really, really want to be able to do this and also spread the word. I think it's something that will make a difference to countless lives. And while I'm talking about that, I want to say that it's amazing that you have you have been invested as an individual, as a human being, and as a professional in the field of kindness, empathy, emotional intelligence, and goodness. And I truly believe that that's the energy that will transform the world. So I just want to thank you. I know that these are just a few words, but your actions are way more powerful. I do invite everybody, please, this is exactly the spirit that we need. So I want to say, please embrace it, please participate, be a part of it, and that coming together is absolutely crucial. Cody, I love that your mom is your inspiration. She's an inspiration to all of us, and you are too. I love what you're doing. You have so much to offer the world. You're well on your way to making it happen, and we want to extend all our love and our support to you in everything that you do. And I do believe that you will bring on board people, youth, and communities that otherwise would not be engaged. So I just want to say you have a special you have a specialization to offer the world, and it's just amazing that at your age you are not just thinking it, you're not just playing, you are really embracing the universe in the process, together with your beautiful mom. And Emma, there are a few words really to convey just how proud we are of you. It doesn't surprise me at all that you've graduated faster than anybody else, that you're on your way to doing what you're doing. And I just want to say you're going to be that person that that'll transform our hearts to blue hearts. And
Good
really,
one.
I mean that. And thank you for, as I say, being beautiful, because you are truly someone that we look up to, And I know we need to keep watching this space because you're going to do so many amazing things. We're really looking forward to coming together and doing lots more together. And I just want to say, really, truly, keeping that light in our hearts and hope for now and forever is crucial. You exemplify it. And I think all we really need to do now is forge our energies so we come stronger together and go much farther, and do it now. There is hope, there's love, and I know I can feel it right here. So thank you all so much. This has been incredible, and it's not one off. Okay, we're gonna keep going, and I just want to say, with the beautiful energy you embrace, you'll light up the world, and you already do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ash. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Cody. And thank you for Summer, because you all are working on the amazing projects that you are. With that, we would like to extend our deepest gratitude to all our panelists and all the attendees who were part of this session. And we hope to see you in the next session, which is about to start on the same link. Native Americans, Youth Climate Leaders. Thank you so much once again for joining us, and see you all in the next session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you all. With all my love and a big hug to all of you.